Good morning and happy Tuesday. I'm Rachel, your host for Smart Impressions. Welcome to the show. And ladies and gentlemen, seekers for the perfect first impressions, get ready to be dazzled and inspired. This week on Smart Impressions, we have a guest who is definitely understands the art of making a lasting impression. She has an incredible ability to transform individuals into their own most confident and stylish selves on any occasion. And so she's not just a fashionista, she's a magician of elegance. So when I say that, she's a curator of impeccable style. I've turned to her numerous times, and she is now in a career working with A-list people in the fashion magazine world. And I just know that she is firsthand knows the importance of making every moment count, and which is really the true essence of making a first impressions. Today, she's here to share the secrets. So please join me in welcoming no other than our incredible guest, a true master of smart impressions, the one and only Ale from Smart the Style Edit. Yay! Exciting.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Hi, how are you? It's a pleasure to be here.
So happy to have you here. I get very excited because today we're talking about dress for success and the power of making that first impression. And there's no doubt we're in this human world where you got to go out and it's, really make an impression. So Let's just jump right into it. We got 15 minutes on the clock, counting down, and people are welcome to join online, ask questions, and take advantage of Ali being here and really addressing any concerns you have when it comes to what you wear. So, Ali, let's get going. First of all, I know that there are common mistakes that we come across left, right, and center when it comes to what people are wearing and their approach to making that first impression. What are some of the things that you've seen, that are really kind of prominent in today's society?
I feel like a lot of people forget the power that dressing has on first impressions. First impressions are made on 7 seconds. So you have a very limited amount of time to let people know who you are and what you bring to the table. So I feel like paying attention to things like a good suit that fits you well, that is your size, that is good quality, is very powerful. Then as well, for example, choosing a good quality accessory when it comes to shoes or bags makes a lot of difference as well. It doesn't need to be trendy. Please avoid trends at all costs. Go always for timeless and classic pieces, but choose leather, for example. Choose a classic color that you can mix and match easily. That will make your life easier when you're getting dressed, and also people will respect you more.
I love that. Well, we're talking our audience today, people from salespeople, and I say everyone's a salesperson, right? And everyone needs to know how to sell themselves. So if you're going to a live event, if you're thinking about what to wear and you're considering a number of different things, what are some of the top priorities that everyone needs to have on their must-have list before they walk out that front door?
I feel like you need to take a look at yourself in the mirror before you leave your house. Even if you did 10 minutes ago in your bathroom, right? Check for your hair, make sure that it's presentable and it's tidy. Check your nails, check your teeth, make sure that there is no breakfast food left in there, because that will literally kill any conversation you have. Just make sure that you look generally presentable and good and groomed. It's not about having expensive brands or expensive jewelry. It's just about those little details that people are going to be looking at. And also a good thing to have is a nice fragrance that people will remember you by. And a lot of times fragrance are conversation starters. So if you have one that is nice and not too overpowering, people will tend to feel more comfortable around you.
Well, I love that, because right now we're talking about our 5 senses. We got the eyes that are visual, that are going to pick up things. Everyone's going to be judging you in that 7 seconds, And so quality of what you're wearing, even though they might be touching you. I mean, someone can pick up leather from plastic in 2 seconds, right? This is
And also when you buy cheap, you buy twice. So usually investing in a quality piece, like a good pair of classic shoes, they will last you for a few years. But when you're buying like leather or like these plastic materials, they literally disintegrate within a few months. So it's just a good investment, all in all.
Absolutely. But then there's the other component, right? So you got the visual. Now you got
Yeah.
what you're wearing, your jewelry. What do you advise with the jewelry and stuff for the women listening?
Yeah, so I always recommend to choose very classic pieces. I really like gold. I feel like it lifts any outfit up. But of course, if you're doing silver, you can also go with that. But just try to choose a delicate piece, like a little bit of a tiny hoop earring, some gold necklaces, but nothing too overpowering, right? You want the first impression to be quite about your skills and about you as a person and not about what you're wearing. So choose neutrals, choose classic, and just stick to that, and you'll be safe.
I love that. And, that brings a great point. I mean, there's going to be these moments where, especially women, we have a lot of range of accessories where you're like, I love those earrings. I want to wear it. Maybe you want to just stop for a second and really, evaluate the people that you're meeting in a networking environment, an event. This is the first time they get to meet you,
Yeah.
right? Save those earrings for the second time.
Yeah, or save them for your weekend, like there needs to be a separation. Usually when I go to my client's house, I like to divide their closet between work clothes and your own personal time clothes, right? So then there is no mistakes and no confusion. So you're allowed to wear the fun earrings and the flowery fabrics and all of that. It's okay, but just try to keep it for your own personal time or like more casual events. So I'm not saying to just be a muted robot. I'm just saying know when to wear each piece, right?
Yeah, I love that because that's how you're going to dress for success. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why you're here today, because I know you have the expertise to share with the audience is really picking out that time. And sometimes people haven't even thought about that. Now, men, is a different story. They got suits, they got, they have a more limited kind of wardrobe. What do you recommend
Yeah.
for them?
Okay, so for suiting, it's very important the quality and the fit. So I would say because we are in this region, try to avoid polyester. Always choose cold wool. So anything with like 100 or 120 or 140 wool quality will be fresh throughout the summer, and the quality reflects on the way that the suit fits. Make sure that it's your size, not too big, not too small. I like one of my pet peeves is when you can see the bottoms pulling around the belly, because that will distract your potential client from who you are and what you're selling, and it will just make it about he cannot even get the right suit for himself, so how can he advise me on what to purchase or what to buy or where to invest? So little details. And also one little advice that a lot of people don't know is try to keep your outfits to less than 3 colors. So for example, if your suit is blue and you have a white shirt and you have brown shoes, then make sure that your tie is also blue, so you are not overpowering the visual with all these colors. So that's just a little advice.
I like it because I don't think most people think about that, and what about guys with the tie? Like these ties, this is where they get to shine. This is their unique individual taste and colors. And I see a range of ties and socks. What do you think about
Yeah.
those two things? Because I'm sure there's listeners out there want to know, how do I decide on the right tie?
Yeah. So for now, I would say try to choose a tie that is in between, not too skinny and also not too thick, because either of those, the thick ones are very outdated and the very skinny are just a trend. So choose a classic tie that is the right width. And then, like I said, it doesn't matter what color it is as long as you're conscious of not wearing more than 3 colors, right? So you can go a little bit funkier on the color, but just try to keep it muted. And if you do go funky, look, there is this whole movement of matching the socks to the tie. I'm not against it. Am I a fan? No. I prefer to match the socks to the shoes, but it's fine. If you want to have a little bit of fun and let your personality shine through, what you can do is match your socks to your tie. And as long as you keep it under 3 colors in total, I will be okay.
Awesome. I mean, that's a great tip. I think people will find that extremely valuable. So thank you. Now let's just talk about nails, because that's one thing that people can really make, play a big role in how they are perceived and what people think of them, because this is a visual thing people are seeing,
Yeah.
What should people be doing?
For men, I feel like just very short groomed nails. I know a lot of men resist the idea of a manicure, and a manicure doesn't mean having nail polish on. It just means that your nails will be cut properly, shaped properly, and your cuticles will be hydrated and tidy. However, if you don't want to do that, I understand, but at least make sure that you're on top of keeping your nails clean and short. And then for ladies, I feel like, again, it's these two words that keep on resonating when it comes to visual and aesthetics and, you know, my job, which is classic and timeless. So when you're in doubt, just try to keep them not too long. I'm not saying short as a nurse, unless you are a nurse, but you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be too long. It shouldn't be impeding you from completing any task. And then try not to have a lot of details on them. Like, I feel like the classic, the better. So some classic nails are red, burgundy, French, nude, and transparent. So those are things that are important to keep in mind when you're choosing your manicure. Like I said, some manicures are super fun, and it's basically the same as your earrings, right? You have your fun earrings for your holidays and for your weekends. So just try to keep the fun nails also for your holidays and your weekends, if possible.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt. If you're meeting people professionally, like if someone has yellow nails, there may be a stigma that goes with that, right?
Yeah, or super long, or like, you know, unfortunately, we live in a society that is still pretty conservative when it comes to women and the way we dress and the way we groom ourselves. So I feel like just keep it classic just in case. Don't let people judge your skills and who you are as a professional based on your nails. So I know it could be annoying, but at the same time, it will just give you an edge. It will put you above the curve. So just always go timeless.
Absolutely. And I'm going to just mention a couple things that I think some of our listeners may not even be aware of, right? So I love that you said, look in the mirror, because food in the mouth, most people will not tell you there is something in your teeth, but it will kill that experience and that first impression, right?
Yeah.
Another thing that I see, bad acne on the nose or skin. If you got bad pimples or acne or having some skin issues, that is kind of turn off too. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I feel like, yes, it could be. So it will be amazing to seek professional treatment for any type of dermatological problems, if you can access it. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those things that people will concentrate more on that. The same, like you just said, right? The food on your teeth. Suddenly the conversation goes. It doesn't matter. It's not retained, because all that person can focus on is your teeth and the thing that you have in there. And again, they are ashamed of telling you have something because they don't know you that way. And then at the same time, you will be very ashamed that they haven't told you anything. So it's the same with acne, unfortunately. But yeah, it's a professional treatment that is required there.
Or at least a little, like, maybe it's makeup, right? Go find something that's going to cover it up so it's not some big red blemish with a big juicy fat pimple or something. You know, I'm going to say my husband has a tendency to always look at men's ears. You know, everyone has their own thing, right? You don't know what people are going to pick up, you know, and if he sees hairy ears, he goes bananas, you know? So that might be another thing. It's just that your face, we're talking about everything. What is right? What's wrong? It may be okay in some cultures. It may not be in an international environment, right?
Yeah. No, like this, there are certain standards for what's beautiful and what is acceptable. And unfortunately, if you want to succeed in a competitive environment, you need to pay attention to those cues.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt that your work in these fashionista magazines don't have hairy ears and, pimple skin popping out. So if it's not in a magazine, then maybe you got to make sure you're not doing it out before you leave your house and go.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably good advice.
Well, our time is up. You know how it goes fast, 15 minutes, just really short and sweet. I know you're helping so many people that struggle with, what do I wear? And how do I put it together to make sure I make the best impression? Allie, what are 3 tips that people can start today after this call and really implement for a better future and their impressions that they make tomorrow? What do you got?
Okay. So I feel like probably buying quality over quantity. You don't need a lot of clothes. You just need a good collection that is neutral, good quality, and that you can mix and match easily to make your life easier when you need to get ready. A second advice would probably be hiring a stylist. It will honestly make your life easier. It just simplifies things. You don't have to think about what to buy, how to put it together, and it's more affordable than most people think. So that's a good advice. And then the third advice is, I want to repeat this: don't ever wear more than 3 colors in one outfit, because I feel like people don't really pay attention to this rule, and it's just so easy to put a good outfit together when you have less than 3 colors. So I feel like that's it.
That's amazing. Amazing advice from Ale, the Style Edit. If you are struggling trying to figure out what to wear, or just want another perspective to give you some feedback about what you're doing, how you look before you're going in a professional environment, this is Sales 101. You got to know what you are wearing that are going to make the best impression. But more importantly, you got to feel good, and clothes make us feel good, right?
Yeah.
And so I want you to feel good. I'm Rachel with Smart Impressions, unlocking business relationships one connection at a time. Another valuable, great insight from a fashionista in town. So reach out to her on Instagram if you have some issues, any issues. Ale, thank you so much for sharing your advice on our show today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, here we are, sponsored by Dripify, and we are the automation, helping people automate so they can connect to more people. But when you go out in real life, make sure you're looking good. And that's what we're trying to bring you today. I wish everyone a fabulous day, a fabulous week of networking, and really making the most of those new impressions that they are going to make every single day in your professional life. Have a great day. That's it for us. We're over and out. Dressing for success with Ale from the Style Edit. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.